Hi, everybody. Hope you're safe and doing well. Welcome all of you to another interesting webinar in our Campus France Facebook Live webinar series. This time on the topic of working while studying in France with Schema Business School. So I'll quickly introduce you to our panelists. So we have here Mr. Joachim Sinamur, who is the International Admissions Manager, Southeast Asia of Schema Business School. We have Ms. Dharini Joshi, who is India Country Manager of Schema Business School. And we have a proud alumnus of Schema Business School, Mr. Vipul Kumar Chaudhary, joining us. To begin this topic, a lot of students are concerned about finding work, finding student jobs while they are studying. So we'll be discussing about that. We'll be also discussing about end of studies internships. But before that, I would like to ask Ms. Dharini Joshi to introduce Schema Business School and its activities.
Thank you, Sujit. I take it from here. So Schema is one of the top business schools of France, and even globally, it's coming into an international global business school. The full form of Schema is a School of Knowledge, Economy, and Management. We have a multi-campus, located in different continents. So we are a multi-located campus worldwide with 3 campuses in France, 1 in USA, 1 in Brazil, 1 in China, and 1 in South Africa. Speaking about our graduates, we have around 45,000 graduates from 145 different countries. What we are proud of is and we also have a faculty of 160 professors, which are from different countries, and we have around 40% of international students on campus. Let's go to the next slide. Coming to the ranking and accreditation part, which most of you students are so keen to know, whether it's AMBA, EQUIS, AACSP, Triple Crown. So Schema is a multi-accredited school with EFMD, AACSP, and EQUIS on their panel. Talking about it, international ranking, our in FT, our masters in MSc Finance and Marketing, MSc Financial Markets and Investment falls 4th. Our MIM program falls 12th. Economist has ranked us as the 3rd best management worldwide for its MSc International Business, and the Wall Street Journal has ranked us 11th for the best of the Masters Finance and 17th for the best of Masters in Management, and QS has ranked us 13th. 13th amongst our MSc International Marketing and Business Development course, and also as the 30th best Masters in Management worldwide, and 6th amongst the French Business School. Joachim, please take over.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So yes, I will introduce very quickly how Schema helps students for finding jobs, internships. So we have a dedicated team at Schema. So I will be presenting you the slide given by the talent and career team. So during the academic year, we are proposing different services to the students toward the help of finding job or internship. We support them also in all the administrative requests, visa renewal, and all these things. And we have a strong professional network. So we'll go to the next slide. So here the team that you can see, we have a global team located in all the campuses. So whether you are choosing, let's say, Lille campus in north of France, Paris, or Sofia Antipolis, we have a talent and career team. The advantages of the multiple campuses worldwide is that we are sharing all the offer and all the network is working together. So going to the next slide, giving you some figures about the talent and career offers. So we have 2,500 partner companies at Schema. Million of offers are accessible by student. You will have access, being a student, to a database with job and internship offers. 500 companies have participated to our event. We are conducting event through the year, all through the year, and we have also 3,800 CV who have been exported in our CV database. So we are working a lot to help the student for all the placement thing. Going to the next slide. How do we help students to find jobs, internship? With the employability workshop, we are organizing, let's say, help to work on your CV, interview preparation, wage of negotiation, because you will see, culturally speaking, it's not the same to look for a job or an internship in India or in France. So you have to be ready for that. So the team will be fully helping you for that. You will have access to different recruitment tests, professional motivation. So the talent and career team is available fully for you in order to help you with, especially we have an international career consultancy part. So it's a team fully dedicated to help the international students. So we are very focused on that because we know that it can be challenging for international students to find job and internship, and because we have 40% of our students who are coming from overseas. So it's very important. So going to the next slide. We have partnership with global companies and organization. We are organizing corporate events all over the year. We have two times a year international career fair on campus where the company are coming. We'll speak after a while about that, but it's not like the Indian system, or we have fully placement on campus. In Europe, it will be more through, let's say, the networking, through a career fair. It can be through career talks, where companies are coming to meet the student round table. So the alumni will be helping you. So Vipuli is one of them now. And thanks to the alumni network at Schema, some of you might find your jobs. So in a lot of companies like that, I've done a webinar 2 weeks ago with one of our alumni from Nissan, an Indian, Bhuvan. And since he has done his internship at Nissan, he told us that every year the company is recruiting Schema Indian students. So it will be like this also. You will have also the opportunity to do company visits and all. So going to the next slide. So a little focus on our corporate event, because that's most of the time the question we are getting from the student. So career fair, 150 companies have participated to our event in 2019-2020. 5 business sector represented, because we have very often the question in which specialization should I choose, sir, to get a job. There is no answer for that. Go for something you like. I was very bad when I was student in finance. I would have never chosen like a finance specialization. So choose something you are good at, because that will be the point of differentiation between you and other students. And so we have Career Roundtable and Career Tuesday, where the company and alumni meet students. So you can find plenty of testimonial on our YouTube pages. So I invite you to follow Schema pages on all the social network, and particularly on YouTube, where you can find all the videos. So going to the next slide, please. So yeah, we are, that's all the support provided to international students. Identification of company, hiring international profile. We are very often question, will I compete with French students for the same job? No, because you will apply for position taken by international students. A lot of companies are looking to develop themselves with, let's say, business abroad, international business. French company want to develop themselves in the Indian market. They might hire an Indian in France to help them for that. So you will not compete, and you will get all the support from our team. Few tips before entering at Schema. Learn the local language, or start learning, even if all the classes are in English. Start some French classes at Alliance Française in your city in India. That will make a huge difference at the end, because even if your job is fully in English, let's take the example of my job. I'm working in France, my job is fully in English, but French is important for the daily interaction when you are going for shopping, when you are interacting with colleagues. So it will be a key advantages. A lot of students are finding a job where they fully speak in English, but speaking French will be a huge added value on your profile. Second, key advice is to network. Okay, finding a job through networking is very important, and it's a good tool for you. And that's what makes difference, according to me, between business school in France and maybe for some public university is the way we are working on the networking part. You know, like the business school, all the business school in France, and particularly the top 10, are insisting on this fact and are working a lot on that. And my last advice is being active and involved at school. You can participate at corporate event, become an ambassador for international students, join student association, you know, and I think people who will speak about his experience because he was very involved with the school activity and extracurricular event with Indian students also. So that's very important. So that, according to me, the three advices. And so next slide, please. So just so very quickly, some placement data, 400 international students interning in France and Europe. So you can also find a job out of France, that's very important. More than 300 companies are hiring international profile, and that's a few lists, few companies, Amadeus, Alstom, BNP Paribas, Airbus, Chanel, and you have many more, but that was a very few list. Next slide, please. So here we go, the contact. If you have any question regarding schema after this session, don't hesitate to come back to us. We have a key advantage also. We are two Indian officers, Darini, she's sitting in India, in Mumbai, and I'm sitting in Paris. You can contact us anytime for any question. You have our phone numbers. So for me, it will be only on WhatsApp as I'm sitting in France, but you can also drop us a mail. Okay, so I will introduce now, I would like to introduce Vipul, who is one of our alumni. He found a job in France. So congrats, Vipul, on that. He is also active member on the Indian alumni community at Schema Business School. And so I would like to introduce him to this session, and maybe Vipul, you can introduce yourself and speak about your life in France and giving you a few tips. And after that, we'll go to a QA session.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Joachim, for the lovely introduction. And thank you for being so frank of using French as a learning language. It's always very important for the students to know that even though we work in English, most of the offices in France are fully capable of working in English, but French is a socializing language. We need it. So I would suggest that whichever student is selecting France, at some point you have to think about learning French as your language. It may not be important for your operational language, but it is very important for your personal growth. And personally speaking, it's always good to learn the local language. It opens numerous doors. You know, a lot of Indian companies hire French speakers, and it will help you a lot. Now, coming to my experience in France, so when I came to France, it was a really challenging moment for me because new culture, new people all around, a new school, which is like so international. We have so many nationalities in one classroom. North African, Americans, Australians, European, of course, then strong presence of Asian community. We have to adapt so much in a very short frame of time because from day one, Schema gives you projects. So I landed to Paris, and my second day at Schema, I was given a project, and the submission day was 2 days later. And I was like, shit, I have two Chinese girls, one North African, then me, and then another person who was a French guy. And I have never spoken so much English in my life that I had to speak in that project work. So it was a really different moment. That tuning of my brains has to be readjusted in a very short frame of time. And then the Parisian experience, when you must have heard about Paris, that it's the city of love, city of lights, beautiful scenery, all of that. But when you are bombarded with French bureaucracy or the paperwork, I bet you within 3 months you're gonna, you know, be more adaptive to solving challenges. So it's a very different feeling when you are in an international context. Then I started my student job. I used to deliver pizzas in my locality, so I have seen that. So while studying at Schema. I used to work on weekends and then studying. And as Joachim said, that I used to contribute a bit of my time towards student association, which is really active at Schema. We used to do a lot of work with Joachim and my career center to develop student life at Schema. Especially, I was taking a bit initiative for the Indian students and how to develop our community. You can see the picture in Joachim's background that we organized a social event. So these are the very small things that we used to do to make our lives more fun, more better, and to prepare everyone for the upcoming challenges. Because one thing is for sure, as Joachim mentioned, that networking is the key. I could only land to an internship because I was never afraid of doing networking. And Career Tuesdays are a big part of my networking capabilities, actually. When you join Schema, you always have this opportunity of attending Career Tuesdays every Tuesday morning. So whenever I didn't had any classes, I make sure that I attend, even though some sessions were in French. But many of the times we meet alumni of Schema there, and it gave me opportunity to present myself. My files, my profile was pushed to the right people, and I've met so many people like that. So networking is a key because here no one knows you. Be sure that you are a nobody in France, even though you may be the anyone in India, but you are nobody in France. So you have to make everything of your own. Networking is the key for that. Okay, you have to select your battles very carefully. And for sure, my alumni network helped me a lot. Bhuvan, as Joachim was speaking about, he really helped me to get through my profiles in Nissan, although I was not selected in Nissan, but no regrets. I had a very great experience of that interview, and I could always, review my profile and be a better person for the next time. So this is how I used my networking, schema networking profiles and everything. So that's about me. I'll be happy to answer any question regarding your student life or job scenarios or anything. Do let me know. Thank you.
So Vipul, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I learned about you that you have worked as student brand ambassador for Spotter Home for 2 years.
Yeah.
So could you share a little bit more about that experience, how it was like to be a student brand ambassador for Spotter Home?
Yeah. So when I joined Schema, I started looking for jobs. I joined Schema at September 2017. So after a month of vacations in Paris, I started looking for jobs. And through one of my colleague, I came to know about Spotter Home. Not colleague, but one of my friend at Schema. And I applied to this position. It was a completely online marketing kind of things where I have to sell out or rent their flats, and I get commissions. So I can, in a way, I can attend my classes and talk to people and earn my commissions. So it gave me some oxygen for surviving next 3 to 4 months because that January phase I earned a lot of commissions on that, and then I used to make digital contents, online marketing stuffs, post through Photoshop, WordPress, and these type of articles about my travel experience and these kind of things for digital marketing, which indeed helped me in my profile as I'm from marketing background.
Right. Well, that's great. And coming to Joachim, I have a question for you, Joachim. When it comes to programs in its schema, how important is an end of studies internship?
Yes, it's very important, like all the second year MSc. So either if you are coming directly in final year MSc or if you are joining the MIM, you will have to do an internship and it's compulsory. So it's very important because what we believe is even if you have some experience in India, you might have 2 or 3 years experience in India, even with the big four, PwC or EY or other companies, but nothing is better than the field. Like you will learn skills, you will learn a lot of things in your program, but you have to take the advantages of getting some work exposure at the same time. So we are preparing you. That's what is giving a business school. We are preparing the student to take a position at the end. So that will be a key point. And I just want to come back to Vipul point regarding working as a student, because I get a lot of questions very often from students. What kind of student job can I expect? And even when we were promoting the session on the social network, one student told me, sir, you should tell the student that they can end up working in a restaurant as a cleaner. And so I didn't answer the student on the social network, but I want to tell very frankly the student that there is no shame to do this kind of job. When I was student, I was working in a restaurant. I work with Subway. I work as a cleaner also. I think you learn a lot, like most of us coming from India, let's say we had our cook at home, our maid. You learn really the real life when you are a student, I think. When you will be in your little flat, when you will have to cook for yourself, that's part of what an experience abroad teach you. And that's very important. There is no shame. All the kind of jobs, student job will be good, like either as you are working as babysitting, English teacher, because that's some of position taken by the student. Either you're working on restaurant, either you are cleaning. What you are doing is building yourself. And when Vipul is speaking, he get a permanent job. I think the company, what they are looking also is a strong profile with, I'm sure Vipul, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure you have spoken about all your experience during your interview. There is the even the spot at home experience or working in a pizzeria in France. That shows the company also how you are motivated. So I think it's very important.
Yeah, for sure. And this was actually a question asked in my interview.
Yeah. Also, I would like to ask, since all of you are alumni from France, working while studying can take a toll on students' daily schedule, and how to they sometimes struggle to balance work with study. So, do you have any tips or advice or some measures that you follow to balance your daily schedule? So, any of you can respond. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay. So yeah, well, for me, so I use when I was a student. Well, it's long back, but yeah, what I used to do is work on Saturday, Sunday mainly, because yeah, it can be tough if you work in weekdays. It can be tough, but after you can work on evening. But I think it depends a lot on yourself and your personality. How do you need? Because some students need a lot of time to prepare some projects. So it might be better to focus fully on studies. That's also an advice we are giving. If you ask me, will it be better to follow only the study? I will say yes. But sometimes it's also necessary to earn some money to for the expenses and all. So my advice will be more to work on Saturday, Sunday, or in evening time. And you can also find some job where you can study at the same time. Let's say if you are doing some babysitting in Paris, you can work at the same time when looking for after the kids on evening time when the parents are outside. So you look at your books and work on your project. I was doing that. One of my student job was I was like security in a museum. So it was in Versailles. Close to Paris, and the museum was empty the weekend. So I was with my book sitting and just learning. So that the tips I will give on my side.
I
great.
think I also would like to add a bit on this same ground. It always depends on your personal uh, initiatives, what you want to do. Because I used to work during the week too, in the evenings. So my social time was a bit less. I was not able to go out with friends so often, but it never cut down on my study time or anything, because you always have to adapt your timetable
Mhm.
according to that. It's your priorities.
Right. And the key is to bring balance between your social life and the time you invest in studying. Also, I would like to ask about working for the university, like the institute or the university provides jobs as well to the students, like jobs like helping out new students or assisting students with disabilities.
Uh,
So does schema offer such kind of jobs to current students?
So at Schema, we have different students working for us in different services, but we are not offering a lot of job for students, but starting in September, this September, we'll have also international student ambassadors, but it's mainly a networking thing. It's not paid. So what we advise to the student every time when they're asking me when we are in India or on fairs, will I get a place, a job on campus? I say, no, you have to look outside the campuses.
Right. Thank you, Zorakim. And question to you, Vipul. Generally students try very hard to find employment in like quick succession right after their internships are over. So do you have a piece of advice for students? What should they be following while they are interning in a company, and so that they can ensure you know speedy employment opportunities coming their way?
Yes, many a times I've seen my friends and my colleagues struggle a lot after getting an internship to get a permanent contract. The strategy that I personally followed and some of my friends too followed and were successful were looking for internal movement. You may have joined our company as an intern in a XYZ department, maybe finance or marketing. But then I started working in different department, by internally moving, meeting new managers and asking for new profiles. So there are two things for that. First, you have to actually develop your domain, some skills that would be adapted to the new profile that you are applying to, and then you have to develop your contact in the new department, which is very easy when you're inside the company.
Mhm.
It's not like a LinkedIn contact that you've randomly messaged, but it's a coffee conversation that you have with the real manager. So that is the strategy that I followed, and it really worked for me.
Yeah.
And outside that, it's sometimes difficult to get a permanent position because of some challenges regarding nationalities, visa issues, and these kind of administrative plus language issues. But if we actually seriously follow, these challenges can be overcome. It's not impossible, to be honest.
Right. And what role does French language play while you're interning in a company? While you're spending 6 months working for the company, interacting with colleagues. So, how much of French language should one know at that period of time so that you can make the most out of the internship?
To be very honest, French language is very important. Uh, if not professionally, like I work completely for the Asian markets, even when I was intern, and now I'm into marketing. My complete zone of operation is Eastern Europe and Asian markets. Zero requirement of French in professional life. But when I speak to my colleagues for coffees or for dinners, drinks, we need French as a language to socialize. And office is not only about working, it's about building your personal contacts too. So if you want to grow yourself, you should know the local language. It always helps in developing your careers.
And
So I would suggest that you should really focus on the language issues.
And just adding one point
Yes.
regarding, just adding one point, it's like, so we get very often, Darini and I, the question from the student, and I'm telling them, when they are asking me, is it important to learn French? I'm telling them, well, look, if you are in Chennai and you speak Tamil, or you are in Mumbai and you speak Marathi, it will be a plus. It will be easier. The life will be easier. So, I mean, we are in a country in India where people speak, most of us, several languages and all. So don't be afraid about that. You have the skills. You have learned several languages in India, so you have the skills to learn French. And just to add about this point, at Schema we are offering all the international students some French classes. So even if your classes are fully in English, you have the possibility to take French classes. And what we advise is when you are in France, so before reaching France, start French classes at Alliance Française. You have Alliance Française, I think, in all the big cities in India.
Yes.
And when you reach France, also learn some French classes through the institute. It can be out of the institute. You have a lot of centers who are providing French classes in France. And also the app, now you have Duolingo, and this kind of app can help you to learn French. Watch some, let's say, movie with some French subtitles that can be helpful, or get a girlfriend or boyfriend from France. that can be a tips also.
That always works.
Good idea, Joachim.
Very good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you would advise that students should learn basic French beforehand while they are in India, and that would help them prepare for their stay in France, and would help them absorb the culture shock as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
I would just like to add one thing,
Yes,
Sujit,
Tarini?
to your conversation, what is going on. I learned until B2 level of French in India before going to France. And I can say it really helped me when I was interning at ArcelorMittal. Even though it was a company run by an Indian national, but everybody spoke French. And practically when I was applying French language over there in terms of drafting letters, emails, I kind of understood how much important it was to learn until B2 and then get an internship. And I was chosen only because I had a good proficiency of French language. So it helped me quite a lot. So
Great. Yeah, that's definitely useful. I mean, it's a most useful tool that you can have to pave your career. Coming to another question, to Joachim and to Darini, you two, that students do prepare, or they do get confused sometimes in choosing what kind of internship they should go for. Right? Usually they brainstorm a lot with other students while they are studying, while their classroom training is going on. Could you tell us, like, what are the important factors that a student should consider while choosing their internship, their end of studies internship?
See, from what I have experienced, because I've been a counselor for a very long time, doing it on a freelance basis. Students come with especially with the Indian students, they come up with a very stereotypical question in their head, because in the Indian business schools, they provide on-campus placement. So they kind of don't know what so they expect that it's going to be the same thing in the European business schools as well. But I always tell them, no, it's very different. Your internship can be a consultation project, a research project. It can be also a startup which is going, you want to invest into. So you can come up with your own ideas. There is a lot of avenues to explore, and a lot of things, based on your previous work experience also, you can sit and analyze what should be your next internship project. So it's more about exploring the best in you, rather than just having one company coming on board and telling you, okay, we are giving you this much kind of package. I always tell them that it's all about exploring what is the best in you, so that the company who is in where you're doing your internship ultimately hires you for the best qualities that you have, and that will be discovered in this journey of doing the internship. And they kind of don't take it internship as seriously, but we tell them that it's mandatory part of your curriculum, because whatever you have studied in your classroom for one entire year, you have to practically put it and make a 30-page of dissertation. So that kind of, then they start understanding that, okay, I can do an internship in a consulting firm, I can do it on a freelance, or I can start my own startup and make a team. So that's the way I always kind of guide them. I would also like Joachim's answer on this. How does he replies?
Yeah, I think you have given all the point. Just giving my example. So when I was student, so I've done a master in law, and after I switched to business school, and I didn't know what kind of job I wanted to do. So at starting for to look for an internship, I was interested about digital marketing, but I didn't have any experience in this field. So I've done an internship with Renault. And after 6 months as a digital marketer, I knew that it was not done for me. So I think internship can be a good thing to explore yourself, as Darini told. Go for something you think you are good at and you want to do for the rest of your life. And after that, so after my experience with Renault, digital marketing was not done for me. Then I've done an internship for Lenovo, the computer companies, as an international sales. And I was very much interested in this subject, and that's why I ended up in international sales. Like so. I would advise to explore. That's the time to explore, make your search about companies and all. But you will learn a lot. Internship are also a period where you learn from the company. After learning in class with a professor, you will learn from your manager and colleagues. And the good advantages of internship in France, they are paid. That I think it's an important point to underline compared to the internship in India.
Yes, it's actually one of the questions which is coming up from one of the students who's watching our session about the remuneration. How much can one earn while working, part-time or for internships?
Yeah.
Right. So yes, Joachim.
Yeah, for the internship, so it's minimum, I think, 550 per month. But after, let's say, the big company can pay you more, and it really depends on the company, but at least it will be 500 a month. Taking my example, and it was 10 years ago, I was paid like 1,200 euro per Renault as an intern and 1,300 by Lenovo as an intern, but it was long back. But after, I have some friends who have done internship in like smaller company in startup, who are paid like lesser, like 500, 600 bucks. It really depends on the company and all. And for the student job, it will be the average rate will be, I think, 7 or 8 euro per hour.
That's right.
Yeah. So if you work, let's say 20 to 30 hours a week, because with your student visa, you can work up to 30 hours, I think.
21 hours actually.
20?
21.
21. Yeah, 21. Okay, so you can get around, I think, 800 something, 800, 900 a month.
Yeah. So Joachim, I would also like to ask you about the current situation. We are amidst a health crisis. The world is amidst a health crisis.
Yeah.
So how is this situation going to affect, students in getting internships and getting part-time jobs while they are working?
Okay, so first of all, I will answer regarding the classes. I think it's important. Some students might be interested to join this September. What I have to tell you is right now the lockdown is over in France. Okay, we are still controlling the situation and all, but the lockdown is over. We are starting to go back to work. So I'm sitting on campus, like Schema campuses are fully restarting the operation and all the staff are welcome to work. Even if we are going to control the situation, it's a critical situation worldwide. So regarding the classes, in September, we are expecting to receive our students. So the official start date at Schema will be 14th of September. Most of the school in France will start the classes also, physical classes, by September. If for any reason the students are not able to reach the campuses on time, because we don't know what will happen with the political situation, I think there is a next meeting with the EU on 15th of June to discuss about all these points, but for now we don't have more visibility. We will propose the student to start online classes. So we have a lot of questions regarding this point. Will the online classes will be same quality that physical one? Yes, we can commit on that because we are very used, thanks to the multiple campus chain at Schema, to provide classes to all the students, even online. And we got very recently, if you put Schema V Hindu on Google, you will find the article that cover Schema online classes. So we are fully ready for that. Regarding the internship, the same thing, same answer. So we are pushing the company to still recruit interns, and we are working a lot on that. The talent and career team is phoning the companies and all. We will be for sure more flexible regarding this point, regarding the internship and all due to the situation, but we are confident about that. I don't have, I'm not a visionary, I'm not an economist, so I can't tell you how will be the situation in 10 months. What I can tell you is that we had the same question in 2008 after the financial crisis. I recall the situation because I was student back then, and everybody was telling, okay, it's the end of the world, it will be another world, like what we are hearing today. And the economy has restarted very well after that. So I think, like even in India right now, with the lockdown, people are sitting at home. What will happen when the ease of lockdown will arrive? Like in France, what we are doing, we are restarting to go for shopping. We are restarting to meet friends and all, and the economy will restart. So I think due to the situation will be bad for the employment in the coming, let's say, 2-3 months. But after that, it will restart. So let's say for a student who is starting in September, I don't think they will face the issue if the internship is in 2021. Okay, but after that, we don't have the full visibility on that, and it's a wait and see shame. Let's wait and watch what will happen. Darini, I don't know if you want to add some point regarding.
No, I personally feel that the internship opportunities might increase in European countries because because of the lockdown, everybody is working from home, so a lot of backlog of work would be there, for which they might need a lot of interns from different business schools. So this is kind of my theory I have concluded, where I just feel there is going to be a good opportunity somewhere 1 year down the line or 2 years by the time the students graduate. So definitely there is an opportunity for sure.
And if you see the situation in France, because I'm living in France, I can tell you that the situation is not as bad as in US, for example. I know that a lot of Indians are heading to this kind of country or UK. France is fighting against COVID very seriously. I think the lockdown has worked well in France, and I think it's the same in India. I think the politics have taken the good decision at the right time to avoid the spread of the disease. And for now, the number of people who have COVID is decreasing day by day in hospital. Still, the situation is critical. I don't want to lie, I think the situation will be critical worldwide, whether you are in India, in Japan, in US, in France. We are all gonna start living with the COVID, and we'll be ready to have a different way of working. I think that the home office is maybe a new way of working, but I think you don't have to be worried about this point, because life will not stop, and we have to move on. We have to think forward.
Right. Joachim, that makes me ask you another question. What are the measures that Schema Business School has taken to, integrate students into this new normal world where we have to live with this COVID-19? So there must be certain measures that Schema has taken.
Yes, so for sure. Yes, for sure. So first of all, the safety of our students is the most important thing. That's why we have decided to close the campuses for students. So even if the staff, we are still going now, we are restarting to go to the campuses, we will welcome the student only from September. After that, we have put a lot of information on our website about COVID, how Schema is handling the COVID situation. So I invite you to visit the website. We have a team working fully on that with the online classes. So we will have less physical classes and more project, like we are adapting the way of teaching to the situation also. All the students will get a welcome kit with the tools, like let's say a booklet with a basic security measure, wash your hands and avoid contact and all. We will provide masks on campuses also. We have installed the hydroalcoholic gel all over the campuses also. So we are working a lot on that, and all the services, whether the student office, the talent and career, all the international relation office, all the services are working a lot to welcome in the best way possible the student. You know, we used to do an orientation day, a physical orientation day on campus. So we are thinking of switching this orientation fully online for international students. And also starting from September, we will have international ambassador who will be helping also the student with the COVID situation. And we will have one ambassador for a little group of students. So all these things, we are working on that. I can't communicate about all the things because it's too early. But by the end of June, all the registered students at Schema will get all the necessary information about the situation and how the school will help them at their arrival. Because we don't know when they will arrive. That's the question for each nationality. We don't know the date yet. But as soon as we will get that, what we are working on is for personal help for each student. You know, like it will not, the situation will really change on our end. Before that, you know, like we used to welcome the student has to be on campus the day one. What I can commit this year, the registered student will be in contact with us from the day they are registered till the day they arrive. There will be a point of support, first with Darini and I, because Darini is in Mumbai and I'm sitting in Paris, but also with all the other services.
Right. Thank you, Joachim. And is Schema offering any additional scholarships this year, keeping in mind in wake of COVID-19? Are you offering any special scholarships?
Yes, so we still have excellent scholarship. We have still budget. So every day, Darini and I, we are receiving inquiry for scholarship. So yes, we have scholarship. The excellent scholarship at Schema are offered based on your profile. You must have more than 70 percentage on your last GPA and more than 15 out of 20 during the interview with the program director. Okay, so that's the excellent scholarship. So it's based on it's a merit-based scholarship. But we are also right now doing some fundraising among our alumni, among our partner, to get a bigger envelope. And the school is expecting to provide help, and is already the school has already started to help the current student with financial help, and we are expecting also to help the upcoming student with some additional financial help, and we'll disclose all the information normally in June to the student. But yes, we are gonna support financially the student. The French government is supporting also a lot. Speaking about the scholarship, the deadline has been extended. It has been decided that whether the student is in India or in France, he will start getting the scholarship. If we are speaking about, let's say, the scholarship offered by the French embassy. So financial help will be there for the student regarding that. I think we have to take our part in the fight, and that's how we will provide the student help also.
Yes, thank you, Joachim. We have also extended the deadline of our JARPAC Master Scholarships to 28th of May. So we are accepting applications as of now. Right. And I have a question which is actually asked by one of the students. I could ask this question to Vipul. Vipul, you've recently got employed, you have an employment, you're working with a company full time. Did you face any visa issues? How was the visa procedure, moving from student visa into work visa? How was it like?
So the process is not as complicated as we tend to think. The HR of your company actually helps you in every stages. And then it depends on the prefecture that you belong. So coincidentally, my company's prefecture and my residence are in the same zone. So I didn't face a lot of difficulties. But due to the COVID situation, it got delayed right now. But the paperwork is fairly simple, both for the company and for yourself. It's just like renewing your existing visa, but providing some additional details like your contract, your insurance, your bank accounts, salary slips, these kind of things. And then some documents from your company. That's it. They have to be motivated to rehire you. They'll give you a letter and these kind of things. So it's not that complicated. And it's honestly, it's a half day's work for the HR.
Great. Um, and you should be having a contract of determined duration as of now.
Yeah, CDA.
So, so Vipul, could you tell us how does that work? Do you have to work for a certain number of years to move to a CDI?
No, it's definitely not the thing. Actually, we had this misunderstanding in our head that first we have to be an intern, then a CDD, then a CDI, like a full-time contract. No, it's not like that. Even after completing our masters, we can move to a full-time contract. It depends between the synergy of you and your company. If the company wants to hire you as an intern, you work as an intern. If they want to hire you as a full-time employee, they can hire you for a full time. And some of my friends did had a contract like that, joining a full time job position after a schema.
Great. All right. Thanks a lot, Vipul. Actually,
Thank
we
you.
have taken up all the queries that students had. So that has brought us to the towards the end of the session. Joachim, I would like to ask you if you could, you know, give some tell the students about. Of course, you have shared a lot about the current situation, but we'd like to. Students would like to know how things are and how welcoming Schema Business School would be, how welcoming France would be for them this year.
Well, so yeah, we are fully committed to help the student in the upcoming months. We know that the situation is critical worldwide with the lockdown in a lot of countries. Thankfully, France is easing the lockdown, so it's a very good sign for us. We are expecting the student to arrive. We have already a lot of students register to the September intake. In the worst case, we also offer the possibility to the student to join later on. Most of the institute in France, business school will propose you 2 intake a year, September and January. So if you don't want to join in September, you will have also the opportunity to join in January. My advice will be to stay positive. We are in a world like there are so many bad things happening everywhere in the world. It's like we have to stay positive and be confident. That's part of what we are teaching in business school to the student. Be confident about your future. Believe on yourself, and that's it. I will let Darini give the other advice from her side. And just to finish on my end, I would like to thanks a lot Campus France also, because I think you are really supporting the student on these phases, in this critical situation. We are lucky, the institute in France, also to have you on board because we have Campus France offices pan-India. And it's also a good thing for the student that keep in mind that you don't have only the support from the school officer, but all the Campus France officers are working for you to help you. And we are gonna go through these phases and fight this disease. And I'm sure better days are coming. And I will let Darini maybe at some point.
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks, Joachim. I think more or less my points were quite similar. It's just that I would like to just add one thing. It's this is a very good time to work as a team and defeat COVID as a team. Rather than just taking it as a victim. So it's the best time to understand the team management skills of each other, and especially I think I request our students to support us as much as they can. It's because of them we are here, and Schema has become what it is. It's because of its students. So that's it. So I would like everyone to say that stay positive and just connect to us if you have any doubts or any questions. Don't go on rumors. Please connect with us, Campus France. We all are there to help you, always. Yes.
Great.
Over to Sujit.
Thank you, Darini. Vipul, would you like to add something on this?
Sorry, I was on mute. Just to add that, yes, the situation is a bit tough. So it's very, no one knows the clear picture. The economy is slowing down. But I do think, as Joachim and Darini mentioned, that even my company is hiring a lot of interns now. So I can see this trend. And by 2021 or 22, the economy is going to bounce back. It's a very temporary cause right now. So even my projects have been delayed, but we are projecting to resume normal operation by Q4. So I assume that this situation will bounce back if we are together. So be positive. Actually, that's the message in this.
Great. Thanks a lot, people. Very empowering messages from our panelists. And I would like to also give this message on behalf of Team Campus France that we are working from home. We are continuing to work from home. All our operations are on, and we would ensure visas would be delivered as and when the borders would open. And please do contact us. Please do write to us. We have offices across India. Um, we would be there to solve all your queries and help you out through the process. And stay positive, stay strong, and we will find a way through.
And choose friends.
And choose France, of
Choose
course.
France.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joachim, Dharini, and Vipul for joining for this session. It has been a pleasure, and thank you so much for empowering our students.
Thank you, Sujit.
Thank
You,
you.
Sujit.